Hello, everybody. This is Darwin Renda, Festival Director of the Northfield Festival, which is along with the Love and Hope International Film Festival in Barcelona. But we're talking about the Northfield Festival right here in Sweden, Stockholm. We're going to do online festival from the 24th to 26th. And today we have another great screenwriter from Canada, Tiffany. It happens to be, I met her, I met this lady, this great writer in Vegas, right? We met 2 years ago. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Good. Tiffany, it's an honor to have you to chat with you about the process of writing. Tell me, Tiffany, we have 3 scripts from you, okay, which are nominated to Best Script Short. We got True Love, Guns Blazing, and the Conniption on Canary Island, which is a beautiful title, actually. Tell me, how do you get the ideas to write? Where is it? Because for me, it's hard to, this is the hard part, is to find the right idea and stick to the idea. How is for you?
Believe it or not, the ideas just pop into my head. I don't sit and think about it. It's just, I have an idea come into my head and I run with it. At least I try to. But actually getting the basis of the screenplay down is a little bit harder.
Right.
So whatever I'm thinking in my head just goes right to my computer. And like I said back in Vegas, I don't go back and rewrite my stuff. I don't go back and do edits. What you see is what you get. And I was surprised because the way I wrote True Love originally, if you really read it, it sounds really stupid in certain areas. But that was what was in my head at the time. And I never thought anything different. I just wrote it down and that was it. And I was surprised. I was surprised when it won Best Screenplay, because I did think, but oddly enough, if you remember, maybe you don't, but when we were networking in Vegas, the one gentleman who had a screenplay entered as well, like I beat him, he told me he spent 5 years writing that screenplay. I did not tell him that I wrote True Love in a day and a half, because that would have not sat well, but it won for Best Written Screenplay. So I don't know what the difference was, whether it's actually what I wrote or what, but yeah. But like I said, everything, it just pops into my head. I don't sit and think about it.
Right. So True Love. So you start writing right away, everything coming to you, and you were there typing. That's how it was.
Yeah.
True Love.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I started them out as stories, and believe it or not, I didn't know that you needed software to make it into a screenplay. And I was surprised that Jared didn't say anything to me in Vegas.
Right.
But, it wasn't until my friend Rohit in New York had mentioned it when because I had submitted a Colorado Christmas to him, and he said, no, it's not right. It's in screenplay format. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know. Like I said, I didn't know there was software to write a screenplay.
Right.
But so then I put it in, and then when I imported it, it's like, okay. So then any screenplays I've written going forward, including Conniption on Canary Island, it was a little bit more difficult not to write it, but to put it into that format. But then, like I said, the words just come to me. It's not like I sit there and think of it. The most recent one I wrote, yes, because I've had to edit it like 4 times because I've had something new come ahead. But no, Conniption was the shortest one I wrote, 6 pages. But yeah, and
it's good. I checked that one. It's pretty good. Yeah, you did it exactly how it's supposed to be in 6 pages. You're telling us what we need to know, which is important.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the irony in that is the fact that that screenplay wasn't actually meant to be that way originally. I wasn't trying to make it into a screenplay or into a story where there's 2 guys at war with each other because they're basically the same person. It was, most of my stories are love stories, with the exception of this one and Guns Blazing, obviously. But this one, they're on their honeymoon and then they meet up with these people. And so originally, like, I was trying to keep it in love story form, but then I don't know what happened. My brain went a different way. And that's how we got Conniption out of that.
What about tell me about the Guns Blazing. Why? You were just getting the idea right away in your brain, or that was something from something related that you saw? How about it?
Guns A-Blazing, that was the one I actually wanted to do a screenplay that wasn't your typical love story, because
Right.
I'm not a horror writer. People want me to write horror stories. I
Hmm.
don't do horror. So I didn't know what to do, and then all of a sudden, okay, it came to me. The title came to me, and then I thought, okay, well, why not try and make up a story about how this guy goes to war basically with the entire world to avenge his wife's death.
Hmm.
And that's how that one came about. And it's all about, things getting blown up, people getting killed, his arsenal of weaponry. Yeah, it was different. It took me, I think, maybe a month to write that one,
Hmm.
because of the way I was going with it. And that
Right.
one I did have to think maybe a couple times, but basically I knew where I was going. The word coming to me as I was writing, which
Hmm.
is, like if
Right.
I'm sitting here writing, it's like I'm just going, right? Like I
Right.
said, I don't think about it, I just write.
Right. So how do you do? So how many drafts do you do that one, or it was ready as soon as you sit down to write, or you rewrite again? How was that process with the guns blazing?
No, I sit at the computer and I write it, and then that's it.
Wow.
I don't go back and edit it. With my newest one that I wrote, A Christmas to Remember, unfortunately, I did have to go back and rewrite the beginning, for Pete's sakes, for 4 times, because I had different things coming into my head.
Right.
But usually it's just the one draft. I write it and I don't edit, I don't do anything, and what you see is what you get.
Right. So let's talk about you have the power of typing and get I mean, you got power with dialogue because I can see in your scripts. You really have this
Yeah.
easy way to do dialogue because dialogue is not easy, right? Sometimes dialogue
Yeah.
it sounds like us. If I write dialogue, is like it's me who's talking, not this character that I'm creating, right? So how is this? How do you create the dialogue?
You know what? I don't know. I just, like I said, it comes to me thinking, okay, well, he wants to say this, but then he
Hmm.
says this.
Right.
So what, and it's just however I write it, and I try to write it in a form where um it makes sense to everyone,
Hmm.
and it's easily understandable, but sometimes it doesn't work that way. So
Right.
dialogue can be tricky
Yes.
depending on how
Yes.
um you word it. Very tricky. With Conniption, actually, um, I had a patient, because I work at a hospital. She was helping me. I told her about my screenwriting,
Uh-huh.
and I told her about Conniption. And we were talking about the words that I use, some of the words that I use in the dialogue or in the story. And even though I used pedantic anyway, I was trying to find another word or words that would mean it. That's where I came up with arrogantly knowledgeable or arrogantly knowledgeable, because
Hmm.
she's the one that gave me those words. And I don't think it's based on like an extensive vocabulary or an extended vocabulary. I think it's based on word, I know what the word I'm thinking. Anyway, word placement, I guess.
Hmm.
So the word you need at the time in the scenario or the situation
Right.
at that particular time. And that helps with the dialogue to an extent. But like I said, dialogue is very difficult to um to do. Sometimes you get, for me, I know it's hard for me, but because I'm so used to doing the same dialogue for most things over and over again, like and or is and are you sure, stuff like that. So when it comes to trying to um make the dialogue a little more interesting, that's where it's even more difficult, because I know what I want to say technically in my head, but
Hmm.
sometimes I don't write it that way.
Right.
So that's on me, obviously. But
Right.
that's why, like you said, dialogue is hard. And like I said, it is hard. It's not easy. I can't always do what I want to do,
Right.
because sometimes I'm afraid that if I write what I want to say,
Hmm.
it's not correct politically or otherwise.
Uh-huh.
Um, but at the same time, I want to make it so that everybody can understand it easily, because I know that I've seen some films where the dialogue, some of the words I don't even understand myself, let alone how they're saying it in the terms that they're saying it. So I try to keep it easy for everybody.
Yeah, I think so, because you know, I'm checking now your scripts, the format. You do very precise actions, which is nice. Sometimes I read those screenplays with a whole page of action. It's like, whoa, you know, I mean, especially as a director, right? Because if you want to write a novel, okay, do that. But as a director, we want to be very precise and clear. You know, we want 2-3 lines, and we know what we're gonna do. We're gonna put there. So that's really good. Do you learn that from somebody, or that was something that you just do
It's
instantly?
just something I
Yeah.
do. Like I try to, when you take English in school, you try to remember, not that English is really useful anymore, but when you take English in school, you try to keep some of those principles intact. So that's what I tried to do here. But like I said, it's not easy. It's never
Yeah.
been really easy.
Yeah. How about the do you know, there are, like you say, Tiff, there are so many ways to write, because I've been doing interviews to many writers and directors. Everyone is different. This is the beautiful thing about this. Some writers, they do draft after draft after draft. You know, other writers, they just go clean and fast. And they both work, you know, both work, because what it works for you, it cannot work for him. How about you? Do you know all those indie texts with the long lines? You use all this stuff, or not really?
No,
No,
no.
right?
Just no. See, for me, if I was to rewrite after rewrite, I don't think I would ever get the screenplay finished.
Yeah,
I
that's
would be so
true.
frustrated. It'd be like, okay, that's it, I'm done, throw it away. So that's partly why I do it the way I do it.
Right,
Because, like because I know me personally, and I
right.
never used to be a writer. It was something I started doing for fun,
Mm-hmm.
just because I was, at one point reading books. So there you read stuff online, and it's like, okay,
Right,
let's put it together. You wanna.
right.
So like I said, I started writing for fun, and then I submitted them to festivals, and that's when I found out I needed it in Hollywood format. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, like it wasn't like I started it for fun, and it ended up going this way, and I'm surprised. Like I didn't realize that my screenplays would
Yeah.
be award winners
Uh-huh.
of so many things, right?
And
So
no
'cause I
one
didn't
or
think they were that good.
no 1 or 2 times you've been winning. Like, it's like, I wanna be you, Tiff. Sometimes when I see you winning, you know, I have to go and say
Yeah.
congratulations again and again. You know, but that's a nice. That's nice. So it means you're you know, your work is paying off. Uh, Let me ask you, do you have a routine for writing, or not really? Or it's only also as when you, is there, you know, some writers have a
Um,
routine, others when they feel like, you know, how about you?
I normally I write when I have the inspiration to, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak. If something
Gotcha.
comes to me, then I'll sit and write. But I don't have a routine where I come home from work and
Mm-hmm.
sit down and write every day. It's just, if something is in my head, I'll run with it. I'll come down and I'll write it, and I'll start. And then I'll have a week's worth of writer's block, and then something else will come to me, and then I'll come
Right,
back.
right,
But I don't have a normal routine like regular writers do. But I
right.
do have to give kudos to all those writers, like even the television writers.
Mm-hmm.
I have enough trouble writing screenplays. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how they can do it. So all these movie writers, all these TV writers, kudos to them, because they've done it a lot longer than me, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't I like I said, for me, it's hard enough for me to write a screenplay, and to see them do it daily. Yeah. I have no routine. I have nothing. It's, but yeah.
It's it's hard. Yeah, I've been working in in my feature film, you know, my script, and
Yeah.
it's hard, you know, because you start getting lost sometimes, you know, you don't know what happened before. Well, it's a little bit tricky. But what do you think is necessary Anybody can be a writer. We both know that. It's art, it's like anybody can draw, anybody. But what's the traits a writer might have? What do you think are those traits?
I think you have to have a passion, real true passion for doing it. And you have to want to do it so that you want to be that person, that one that gets recognized for everything, and say, hey, I know her, or I know him, they're good, they write, it's not something that, it's just basically you have to have the passion, you have to have the will to want to do it,
right?
And just for me, like I said, I write, I have the passion, I want to do it, but there's a lot of times where I don't know what I should write next, like, because most of my stuff is romance, like people getting together, falling in love, whatever. So I think I found myself now in a little bit of a rut, so to speak, because I'm trying to, as much as that's what I love to write about, I want to try and break it into something different.
Right.
And with my 2 Christmas screenplays, they are different. I don't have necessarily things, so I'm trying to just sort of get out of my comfort zone, I guess it is. But like I said, you have to have the passion and the will to want to do, and it's not just writing, it's anything.
Right. Tiff, tell me, titles. How do you decide the title? This is something I really ask to everybody because it's so complex, and it's actually, sometimes it's like you're really looking for those titles on top. Sometimes it comes out of the blue, right? How is for you?
Yeah.
How do you decide? Because they are really nice titles you have. How do you decide that? For example, for True Love.
Like, all of my titles were actually out of the blue, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I'm sitting at home, Guns A-Blazing and True Love. I was sitting upstairs watching TV, and all of a sudden this guy just popped into my head. Wishing on Canary Island, I'm driving to work the one day, and it pops into my head, and I'm like, okay, what? Why is that in my head? So I put it to the back, never thought anything of it till a couple days later. Then I'm going to work again, and here it's in my head again.
Right.
So yeah, they just come to me out of the blue, and I just run with that title, and then I think of something that I can put with it.
Right.
Right. But yeah, they all of these ones have come out of the blue.
Right. To me, the same. Tiff, all my short films that I've been done is just coming out of like, okay, now this is the image, but I started like 20 names, and then I start to, no, I don't do that. But there are other writers that they do that, so it's like, well, yeah, it's art. Tiff, tell me, how can because this interview, guys, for all of you guys who are watching these interviews, is for you guys to connect from the Northfield Film Festival in Stockholm. Tiff, how can we get in contact with you? If you any website, Instagram, Facebook, that we can reach you out to become friends, to share the same passion, writing and filmmaking?
I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter. You have my Messenger or my Facebook.
Yeah, I have. What is your Instagram?
Contact.
Your Instagram?
It's at Tiffany Colling.
At Tiffany Colling, gotcha.
Yeah, and then my Twitter one is at Tiff Colling. So
all right.
Yeah, gotcha. You just have to look me up, and
Yeah, and then you never know. We can share ideas, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Ideas.
Very much so.
But I'm glad I have the interview with you finally, Tiff. You are a very difficult lady to have a chat. Only by the messenger, right?
I'm sorry, I'm not very computer literate, so this Zoom thing is all new to me.
Yeah, but that is great. Thank you for your expertise, for your knowledge about writing, for sharing with us. It's very important for the festival. We're going online, so Tiff, I hope you're gonna join us online, watch some films there. Yeah. And then be ready for the Gala Awards, the 26th. We do some streaming, and then we'll see. I wish you all the luck, Tiffany. You have
thank you.
You have a 3 script with us, and you are competing with also very talented people. So that's a good thing. All right.
Well, thank you very much, Darwin. It was nice to be finally able to chat with you after all the confusion.
Yeah.
So make sure you send me a copy of this recording, please. So.
Yes, we're gonna place in our social media for the festival, and you definitely we're gonna share, yeah, within this week. Yeah, it's been 2 years. 3 years, right, that we met in Vegas. I was hoping to meet you in Stockholm, but the situation is it's not good
Yes,
yet, right? I
yes,
get my third dose today. Can you believe that? It's like, are you serious? The
yeah.
third, and it's gonna be the fourth. I'm not doing the fourth. That's for sure. It is.
Well, I work in a hospital, so it's mandatory for us. I had my 3, so I'm good.
Yeah, yeah. But anyways, well, at least Tiff, thank you so much, dear.
Thank you. Send me a copy of this and stay safe, Darwin, please.
All right, you too, huh? Stay safe, that you are one of those
Take,
lovely workers,
yes.
Take care,
Thank you
Tiff.
very much.
Bye.
Bye.